I'm Maureen Wabuti. I'm not Dr. Scholar, but I'm standing in for Dr. Scholar. From Health and Wellness Department, we normally have a series of planned events to help our church and even our members. So today we are privileged to have first and aid training. I know this training not only helps the children, but also the mothers, and everyone will benefit because an accident happens, whether you like it or not, and it happens when you have not planned, but it is better to be aware of anything, to be prepared in case of an accident, to know how to handle. So today, from the Health and Wellness Department, we are partnering with Avenue Home Care and Pharmacies to bring to you the first aid training, and they will help us. We clap even as we welcome Millie from the Avenue to come and share. Thank you so much. I will just urge you to be patient. We will take 20 minutes and then 10 minutes for the Q&A shortly, and then we have lunch after the service. So be rest assured your stomach are well taken care of. Feel free to ask any question. Welcome, Millicent.
Good afternoon once again. Today, Avenue Group is here. Avenue Group, by Avenue Group, we mean Avenue hospitals. We have 3 hospitals. We have 21 medical centers. We have 5 colleges across Kenya. That is in Westlands, Mudidi. We have a college in Komarok Mall. We have in Zuri Building, Thika Town, in Kisumu, Mega City, and also in Mombasa, Nyali Building. So today we are here just to offer first aid training for those who have had incidences at home. You know how important it is to learn first aid and to maybe help someone. Maybe if an incident happens, you know what to do. You don't panic. You know the right procedure to take when you're assisting someone. So today we have a team under home care, which is called the rescue team. The rescue team, they offer rescue courses, which is first aid, SCLS, which is advanced cardiac life support, and basic life support. So we have our lecturers here, Victor and also Munala. They're going to take you through first aid training. So I would like to welcome them to proceed. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Munala, and I'm a first aid instructor, as well as basic life support, and all pre-hospital courses, basically. So I'm going to invite my colleague to say hi, and then we take a few minutes. Yes.
Good afternoon. My name is Vincent Odhiambo. I'm also a first aid trainer and also an instructor, majorly dealing with pre-hospital. So I feel privileged to be part of this team today, just to train us on, just to discuss on matters of first aid. So feel free again to just be involved in the training. Sawa, welcome.
So very quickly, I need you to turn to your neighbor. Just turn to your neighbor and confirm for me whether your neighbor is breathing or not. Breathing or not? Yes. Are they breathing? So what has made you decide that your neighbor is breathing?
Because they are alert.
Because they are alert. Very nice. I don't see your neighbor.
I can see them smiling.
How do you tell they're breathing?
They can smile.
So, first and foremost, first aid, the main reason behind first aid is basically, 1, to preserve lives, to prevent conditions from worsening, and to promote quick recovery. So let's start with the first one, to preserve life. You are able to preserve a life that you can tell whether it is there or not. There are 3 things that we will be interested in. For us to say that this patient or this person is breathing or not, is having the heart pumping or not. So those are the areas that we first start with, and then we will look at the others. Now, when someone has their brain functioning, when you talk to them, they will be able to hear you. So usually the first thing we to look at is, can the patient respond or not? And the way we can tell if a patient is able to respond or not is when you call them. I want you to imagine when you just probably going to wake up a loved one and you've opened the door. If the eyes are closed, what is the natural thing you want to do? What is the first natural thing you want to do? You want to wake this person to either go to school or to go to work, and their eyes are closed. What is the first natural thing you'll do, sir?
Call them by their name.
Excellent. A clap for the young man. So if the eyes of a patient are closed, the first natural thing is to call them. When they are not responding, then you want to go ahead and try to inflict pain. So pain, I want to be very careful, pain. Pain is basically tapping the shoulders. Tap the shoulder. Try and tap your shoulders. No, both sides. Both sides. Yes, very good, very good. Because if a patient has a deficiency on one side, probably paralysis on one side, if you just tapped that side, then you would assume that they are unconscious. So we always want to tap both sides. Now, critical, anytime you want to provide first aid, is not, and I'll choose my words, it is not the interest of those patients that we usually put first. What we usually put first is your safety. So if, say for example, you're out there and someone has been knocked down, before you approach them, the first question that should come to your mind is, am I safe? Because if it's a busy traffic and you also move in, then you become the second victim. Once you become the second victim, will you be able to preserve life? Will you be able to prevent that condition from worsening? Will you be able to promote quick recovery? No. So every other time before you attend to a patient, question number one must always be, am I safe? Has what has happened to the patient also likely to happen to me? And once you've convinced yourself that you're safe, then that's when you check if the patient is responding or not. I want us to always remember that when that patient responds, the brain is functioning. But when the patient or that person fails to respond, chances are there is a problem in the brain. And the problem could be brought about by two issues amongst very many, including one is their supply of blood to the brain. So we look at a pulse, okay? Now, how do we look at a pulse? First and foremost, a pulse is a sign that there is supply of blood, that the heart is pumping. Now, where is the pulse? I want us to spend a second, because that is very important. So if that patient is an adult, you look at the neck. Now, I want you to locate your neck. Just confirm you have a neck, eh? Yes, you do. Wonderful. Very good. Now, men have what we refer to as an Adam's apple. What do you refer to you as, madam? What? Men call theirs Adam's apple. What do you call yours?
Eve's apple.
Okay. Adam's apple and Eve's apple. Let's locate them. Now, when you palpate your Adam's or Eve's apple, When you move to, I want you to show me 2 fingers as you enjoy your lunch. Just 2 fingers. With the 2 fingers, I want you to feel the Eve's banana or Adam's apple. And I want you to slide the 2 fingers on the side, just slightly on the side. And then, you see, kuna mtaro mbili hapa. There's one on your left, one on your right. So when you slide your 2 fingers, I want you to put pressure. Let me find, please come, sir. Yes. Let's clap for the young man. Your good name, sir?
Candy.
Say that again.
Candy.
Kelly. Candy.
Candy. Yeah, my short name is Candy.
And your long name?
Kendrick Wanda Lodge.
Is it okay if he stood here? Very nice. Yeah. Candy. So I want you to look at how we'll, okay. Very good. So just look there. Now this is what we are referring to as, with my sister there, is the Eve's apple. So with the 2 fingers, you slide them on the side, and then put pressure like this. Okay? So you slide the 2 fingers, you should feel mtaro. Okay? Then you put pressure once. Okay? You should feel some palpation. Just give it a shot. Try. Can you feel pulsation? If you can't feel, we'll have to start CPR. Is it there or do we start CPR? You can feel it, Thank you very much, Candy. Let's clap for him. So that then, when you feel that pulsation, it means your heart is pumping. Now, when you don't feel that, it means that your heart is probably not pumping. Are we together? Now, when your heart is not pumping, or when your patient's heart is not pumping, then you assume that role. And when you assume that role, you want to pump the heart yourself. The other thing we want to look at is the patient breathing. And one sign of a patient breathing is movement of the chest. There are 3 ways we can tell that someone is breathing. 1, just put your 2 fingers or 1 below your nose. And I want you to take in, breathe in, breathe out, in, out. Can you feel some movement? Yes, then it means you are breathing. The other way we can tell if a patient is breathing or not is we can listen. When you move close to the patient, you can hear them breathe. But I must also say at this moment that normal breathing is quiet. Can you tell whether your neighbor is breathing? You cannot. The moment you tell your neighbor is breathing, there is a problem. Like at night, because you're probably not aware, you produce some sound when you're sleeping. So, you may not be aware, but you do. When that happens, it means we have a problem with the breathing. But if you're breathing like you are, normal breathing is supposed to be quiet. However, you can feel if someone is breathing, you can see movement of the chest, and you can feel like we have. Now, the reason why we are talking about this is, if you can't feel the pulse, and you can't feel movement of air in and out of the patient, then you need to come in as a first aider for you to achieve our first objective, which is to preserve life. And that is where CPR comes in. And CPR is short for cardio, which means the heart. So that is why we're feeling the pulse. pulmonary, which is your lungs. That is why we are looking at movement of the chest. Resuscitation is the restoration of the relationship between your heart and your lungs. How are they related? The work of the heart is to pump blood, while the function of the lungs is to bring in oxygen, as well as remove carbon dioxide. So that is why you locate the heart and you push in the heart hard and fast. We shall be doing that shortly. Now, as Victor prepares that, I want us to remind ourselves again that any other time you're called upon to assist a patient, before you proceed and assist, question number one that must always linger in your mind is, am I safe? Are we together? The first question should be, am I safe? Some of the things we always advise first aiders not to is, one, do not enter a burning building unless you are a trained first aider for your safety. Because then, if you enter that burning building, you will inhale fumes, you will become unconscious, and sometimes lose your life. When you do that, will you be able to preserve life? Will you be able to prevent conditions from worsening? Will you be able to promote quick recovery? No. So never enter a building on fire. Two, unless you're trained in water rescue. And there's a very big difference between being a good swimmer and being able to save someone who is about to drown. Do not confuse the two. Being a good swimmer does not equate to being able to save people who are drowning. So if you see someone who is drowning, our advice is stay out of the water until either the patient becomes unconscious. When they become unconscious, it is safe for you. Then you can go in. But if you went in, if the patient is still conscious, you've heard of the saying that a drowning man will clutch at a straw. They will kill you. Yes. They will hold on to you and they will not let you go because their life is fully dependent on you. So never. However, you can always find a rope and throw at them and tow them out of the water, or a long rod at a safe distance and tow them out of the water. In cases of electrocution, and I'm talking about high voltage electrocution, we advise that you stay at least 20 meters away from the site. Because about 20 meters radius, the place is live. Now, until the company responsible for distribution of electricity informs you that now it is safe, and let's agree here. Informing you is one. They must take the forefront. So they should tell you we've switched off electricity and here we are. Not that it is safe, now you can go. No. It is safe, wacha wafike wa kwanza. Because we have said always it is our safety that comes number one. Those are just some of the safety precautions we're talking about. However, the other issue that we must always keep in mind, and as far as matters safety is concerned, whenever you see someone bleeding, whenever you see someone draining fluids, it could be frothing from the mouth, it could be bleeding, it could be urination, provided those fluids are coming from someone else, do not touch them. with your bare hands until you have gloves. Again, our advice is if you do not have gloves, then don't go home. Yes. If you do not have gloves, go back home. Or make arrangements to have gloves before you touch the patient. Are we together? Are we together? Very nice. Good. So we're going to show you a demo on how you would attend to a patient. Now, as you can see, our patients are unconscious. They are not breathing. So the first thing you want to do is check for your safety. So you scan the environment just to make sure that you are safe, your colleagues are safe, and the patient is safe. Once you've convinced yourself that you are safe, then move on to the patient. Check if the patient is responding. Call the patient, tap the shoulders. Okay? Let's do that again. Call the patient.
Hello, 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 hello. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? If you can hear me, open your eyes and do not move. Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me? If you can hear me, open your eyes.
Good. So this patient is not responding. If the patient is not responding, then please summon help.
Help, help. Someone call an ambulance and come with an AED.
Good. So as we wait for an ambulance to come, please look. You place one hand on the forehead of the patient, 2 fingers on the chin, eyes on the patient's chest, and you count to 10 seconds.
Kenyatta 1, Kenyatta 2, Kenyatta 3, Kenyatta 4, Kenyatta 5, Kenyatta 6, Kenyatta 7, Kenyatta 8, Kenyatta 9, Kenyatta 10. There's no pulse, there's no breathing.
Good. Our patient does not have a pulse, no breathing, so we have located the heart. You make sure your legs are open for stability. You go in and you count.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30.
So you give 30 chest compressions. You open the airway and you give 2 breaths. Again, you go back to the chest.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 27, 28, 29, 30.
So you give 2 ventilations. So you want to give, if your patient does not have a pulse and is not breathing like we said, you want to give 30 chest compressions, 2 ventilations. And you want to do that 5 times or for 2 minutes. And then you check if the pulse has come back and if the patient is able to breathe. How about an infant? So for those of us who've never seen an infant, they look like this. So if you see a human like this one, we refer to them as an infant, okay? So one thing you want to note as far as infants are concerned, this is how we check for their response, by tapping the sole of their feet. I don't know if you're able to see. So you tap the sole of their feet. While for adults, you tap the shoulders. That is the difference number 1. The other difference is when you're opening the airway, the way you open an adult's airway, you can always open the airway to this level. However, when it comes to infant, you must be extra cautious because when you extend the airway like this, you may think you've opened the airway, but in reality, you obstruct the airway. So the airway of an infant must always remain in a neutral position like this. So not like this and not like this. Neutral position. Okay? So we are checking for response. No response. Pulse. For adults, we check the pulse here, carotid, remember? For infants, we check in the armpits. So this is how you check where the armpits are. As you can see, near the armpits, that's where we check for pulse, because infants do not have a neck, and we are not able to check the pulse here. So we check the pulse in the armpits, as you can see, with your eyes looking at the patient's chest. Okay?
Kenyatta 1, Kenyatta 2, Kenyatta 3, Kenyatta 4, Kenyatta 5, Kenyatta 6, Kenyatta 7, Kenyatta 8, Kenyatta 9, Kenyatta 10. There's no pulse, there's no breathing. So I now landmark for the location of the heart, which is at the center of the chest. So you draw a straight line towards the center, where your hand goes to the nipples, and then you draw a straight line. Then after that, you landmark the center of the chest and start doing CPR. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So just remember they have a smaller nose, and they also have a smaller mouth. So your mouth should actually cover their nose and their mouth. Are we together? So very, very important for you to give them those breaths. Your mouth now, the mouth of an adult can only fit and cover their nose and also cover what? Their mouth.
Excellent. So can we have 1, 2, 3, 4 volunteers to give it a shot? Yes, volunteer. Let us clap for volunteer number 1. Volunteer number 1, very good. Volunteer number 1. Volunteer number 2. Volunteer number 2. Volunteer number 2. Volunteer. Thank you very much. You're welcome. Clap for volunteer number 2. Clap for volunteer number 2 as they come. Yes, you're welcome, volunteer number 2. Okay? So we will start. So the first thing is we will check for safety. Let's check for safety. This one. Let's check for safety. The area is safe. Let's go. So you want to work on the side, eh? Yes, because these are legs, eh? Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. Hey, can you hear me? Hey, can you hear me?
No response?
The next, we check for the pulse. So I'll have to press a bit the neck, and then I slide. Okay, I support to be from here, and then I slide, and then I'll feel if there's pulse. Well, I look at the chest, and then I count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
So when you are counting, so that we achieve the standard 10 seconds, we usually want to use a 3-syllable word to separate the numbers. Because if you were to count 1 to 10, you probably would count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Someone else would count 1, 2, 3. So for us to achieve that, and you do not have watch, you want to insert 3-syllable words. Let us use Kenyatta's. We'll say Kenyatta 1, Kenyatta 2, up to 10. Let's go.
Okay. So I'll look at the chest and I'll slide a bit while I press, and then I'll count. Kenyatta 1, Kenyatta 2, Kenyatta 3, Kenyatta 4, Kenyatta 5, Kenyatta 6, Kenyatta 7, Kenyatta 8, Kenyatta 9, Kenyatta 10. No impulse. No impulse.
It's called a pulse.
No pulse.
No breathing.
No breathe.
So locate the heart.
So I locate the heart. The left side, okay. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Two fingers.
So you blow in. Don't make contact. Don't make contact with the paper.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Let's clap for him.
Yeah, so let's appreciate him for that. Wonderful. So I can see everyone is holding a plate, which is a good thing, isn't it? So how many times are you chewing that food? What is the standard number of times you should chew that food? "32 times. Let's clap for her. Why are we talking about that? Remember, if you don't chew this food properly, then it can choke you, right? So take your time while eating and enjoy what? Your food. Otherwise, if you don't enjoy your food, what is to happen next? It can actually choke you where it obstructs what? The airways. So, yes? Rice, in fact, you should chew 32 times. Just try and count, right? Because one, we also want the food to mix with saliva and also the enzymes, right? Yeah? Yeah, that is the best. It should be watery, right? Yeah, 1 spoon. Able to chew 32 times. Yeah. So, very, very important, yeah? Because when you eat your food in a hurry, then you're likely to do what? To choke, right? So how will you tell that someone is choking? How will you tell someone is choking? Madam? How will you tell someone is choking?
will pick us thing for
So very, very important to note now the classical signs of what? Choking, right? Because you can tell from a distance that someone is actually choking, right? So what are the signs that you see if someone is choking? How will you be able to identify from a distance? Yes? Their eyes. Uh-huh.
The eyes.
Yes, the eyes, right?
Yeah.
So one, it is the eyes, right? Then we also have universal sign of what? Choking, right? So what is the universal sign of choking? Apart from the eyes, wonderful. Yes. Let's clap for her. That is actually the universal sign of choking, right? You'll see them, there it is, right? There it is, very, very important, yeah? So once you see a person having that sign, clutching on their throat, then you should also ascertain that they are actually choking, right? So what do you do next? Ask them, are you choking? So if it is complete obstruction, what will they do? Huh? They won't be able to speak, they'll just nod, isn't it? So when they nod, then what are you supposed to do? You as a first aider, what are you supposed to do? Because I believe people usually choke even at home. So how?
You'll pat their head, their back. You'll pat their back.
You pinch their back,
Like you pat like this.
tap their back.
Yes, so let's appreciate her for that. So when someone is choking, the first thing, remember, they'll go into what? Into unconscious. They can just go into unconsciousness and drop. So, hello? Are you choking? Are you choking? Are you choking? Then you come, stand on their back, right? Behind them. Very, very important, because most of them, remember, your brain is sensitive to lack of what? Oxygen, right? So when it lacks oxygen, then he can ideally collapse, yeah? So you landmark the area between the navel and also the xiphoid process. So xiphoid process is where the two ribs naturally meet. Can you landmark your xiphoid process? And the navel, where's your navel? Uh-huh. Then put your hand, make a woman's fist. I don't know why they call it a woman's fist. Thumb side in. I don't know why they call it that, right? But it is usually a very effective fit. Good. So in the area, then you come with your hands and support this, right? Then it should be an inward, upward movement. Inward, upward movement. I won't do that right now because some contents can come out right now. Yeah? So I'm not at liberty. But if they are choking, make sure that even if they were eating, you must push in, up, right? It is an inward, upward movement. How many times? 5 times, right? So it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you check, right? If they go into unconsciousness, then you can now drop them down. You drop them down. Then, hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me? He cannot hear me, right? Then I come, check for what? The pulse. Kenyatta 1, Kenyatta 2, Kenyatta 3, Kenyatta 4, Kenyatta 5, Kenyatta 6, Kenyatta 7, Kenyatta 8, Kenyatta 9, Kenyatta 10. Then I start what? CPR. Good. So remember, we were talking about choking, but choking in adults, right? Do these people also choke? Uh-huh. So what is the management? Who knows how to manage these people? Thank you.
A clap for her.
Wonderful. Yes. You can try.
Because it's a baby, anaangalia mbele. So the first thing is I turn her over. I turn her over, and then I now position my hands towards her back. See, we are just trying. And then now I will be doing what we were doing with the adult, but now on her back, where I try to press her back or his back to ensure that whatever is choking comes out, but I put her on this side. So how many times is, I don't know, I don't even know if I'm doing the right thing. But then, so I press her back up and out, and then I check to see whether whatever she had has come out. I tried.
You tried. Yes. Just to emphasize what she's talked about, remember, children, they have their necks are very fragile. So so first things, you'll see them struggling to breathe, right? You'll see some facial grimace where they are struggling, breathing, right? Then after that, after ascertaining that they are choking, what do you do next? Yeah, you make sure that you turn them on their back the way she did. Remind me your name. The way Brenda did, right? Very, very important. Yeah. But as you tap their back, remember their head should be what? Supported, right? Then again, they should be inclined. So you should get a comfortable position and then incline them in this position. So I will hit at their shoulder blade. These are the shoulder blades. So I'm hitting at the shoulder blades forcefully. How many times? 5 times, right? So it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Then I turn them very quickly, and you can see where my hands are. She is supported, right? Then I now use my fingers, 2 fingers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? If the object is at the mouth, we're talking about, you can see it here, just around the mouth. Then what do you do? Yeah? How do you remove it? Yeah? How do you remove it? Remember, these are children, right? So if they have anything within their mouth, yeah, what will happen next? They will swallow, right? So you need to turn them very fast on their side, then you remove them with your small finger, right? Very, very important. Sawa. Are we clear on that? So, we also have female expectant, right? So today you'll be expectant. So we are assuming that he is what? Expectant, meaning that there is an occupant here, right? Yes, and we don't want to interfere with that occupant. So what are we supposed to do? If someone expectant is choking, how do you help them? How do you help them? Yes? Oh, I thought your hand was up. So ideally, if they choke, then they will still have the universal sign of what? Choking, right? So are you choking? Are you choking? Are you choking? So cough, cough. I will encourage her to cough, 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 cough. The cough now gets weaker, then I need to support, right? So you come in between the chest, then you still make the fist that we were talking about. Just like in the pictures, then you come and support, right? Then you push. It is in, outward movement, right? How many times? 5 times, right? Then after that, if it comes off, then again now, it means that you've done a good job, right? So I've talked about how many things? 3 conditions. I've talked about infants. I've talked about adults who are choking. I've also talked about expectant, right? Meaning that in those varied ages, you should know how to manage them, right? Sawa. Are we clear? Yeah, so the point we are taking from this lesson is no matter what happens, if you're eating, just chew your food, right? How many times? Wonderful. Let's clap for ourselves. Yes.
Thank you so much. I think I have two questions.
Yes.
One is the breath of life. When you're doing that breath, do you blow or do you apply in the faculties, the nose or the mouth? Then number two, we are assuming when you're pressing the chest where the heart is, that it is bouncing like these plastic ones. Is it possible for, like mine, I have tried, it's hard. As in, how do you how are you sure that it's actually effective? Yeah, especially for men who are a bit handy. Thank you.
So the first question was about being what we refer to as artificial ventilations, okay? Now, what did we say is the first thing you must ensure before you attend to a patient?
Safety.
Yes, your safety always comes number one. Having said that, post-COVID-19, we are advising first aiders not to give mouth-to-mouth ventilations unless you have something to protect your mouth. If you do not have anything to protect yourself, then you give what we refer to as hands-only CPR, which is just pressing on the chest without giving breaths. But we are saying we are leaving it up to you to make a decision on who you can give mouth to mouth and who you cannot. For example, if it is someone you have emotional attachment, like your parents, like your spouse, like your daughter, your son, you may want to. But you're talking about a stranger you just met, do not. When you're giving when that opportunity arises, you blow in over 1 second, like this. So with me is an example of a mouthpiece. This is an example of a mouthpiece that you place on top of a patient. Don't know if you all can see. So you place it on top of a patient, like that, okay? Then you blow in. This is a one-way valve. It ensures that you're protected from any fluids from the patient. But in the absence of that, just give hands-only CPR. So saying, how do you blow in over 1 second, like this? Not the way you do a candle. Okay? And when you're blowing in, it is only effective if that chest rises. So your attention, your eyes must be focused on the patient's chest to see whether the chest is rising or not. If it is not, reposition the airway. It means there could be obstruction, or you're not doing it properly, or you've not sealed properly. Chest compressions. Well, this is a situation we refer to as life over limb, as in life at that moment is more important than the limb. So what do you want to do? You locate the heart like we have, and you push in hard and fast. How far? About a third. So go as deep as you can. Don't mind the ribs, even if they break. That's fine. That's fine. Because would you rather be alive with broken ribs or not alive with your ribs intact? Which one do you prefer? Do you prefer alive with broken ribs or not alive with everything intact? So therefore, Don't mind even if you break the ribs. Continue with chest compressions. I don't know if that is okay. Yes, please.
In the artificial ventilation, we are breathing, we are sending our breath into this patient. When we breathe out, it's mostly carbon dioxide. So what are we really adding to this patient?
Let's clap for the young man. Eh? That's a very technical question. Eh? Now, in the environment, we have a combination of gases. The lion's share, about 78%, is occupied by nitrogen. The beauty is, it is dormant. You will not feel it. 21% of the air found in the environment is oxygen, which is the most active gas. The balance is carbon dioxide and very many other gases, which occupy about 1%. Now, when you breathe in, you're breathing all this air, 21% rich in oxygen. When you breathe out 16%. So therefore, your body only utilizes 5%. So the air you breathe out is 16% rich, meaning somebody else can benefit. So as you breathe out, remember, like our homestead, like our homes, you have a tap for fresh water, you get your supplies. At the same time, you have an outlet for waste products. You have a bin and you have a sewage system. The same thing happens to all your organs, all your cells. That you take in fresh oxygen, at the same time, you must remove the waste. It is the waste that you're referring to as carbon dioxide. So when you breathe out a certain percentage of carbon dioxide, way less than the 16% of oxygen. Now, it is very important to always ensure you open the air of the patient and ensure they're breathing, because when you don't, the carbon dioxide that is trapped in blood makes blood acidic to the patient. So yes, you breathe in 21%, you breathe out 16%, and carbon dioxide. Yes. Are we answered? Thank you.
Yes.
I have a question concerning the choking scenario. What if you said you can lay the person? What if you lay the person and he has food coming na ingie kwa other, is it epiglottis ama ni nini? How can you prevent that?
Very good question. Remember, just to answer you, the food that we are trying to relieve is food on the trachea. So trachea is the windpipe. So this is your windpipe, right? This is your windpipe. This is the conduit of passage of air. So anything that goes to the esophagus, which is the food pipe, do not worry about it, right? Because remember, anything that goes in the food pipe will just come out, right? However, at times we find that there are food that are very solid, and what they cause is more of discomfort on the esophagus. So that should not worry you. We are more worried of anything where? In the trachea. Because this, remember when we're talking about windpipe, nothing should enter into the windpipe except what? Air. Even your own saliva cannot get into the windpipe. Immediately it gets into the windpipe, what happens? You automatically starts what? Coughing, right? That is like a feedback mechanism, just to relieve the object, yeah? Yes, so to answer your question, that is why we are doing the abdominal thrust, that is why we are laying them, We are also doing CPR on them when they become unconscious, because remember, when you press on their chest, you're still applying some pressure that can relieve again the object. But now the difference with the normal CPR is anytime you're giving breaths, you open the mouth and check whether that object is around the mouth, yeah? Yeah, so very, very important. Any other question? Any other question as we culminate this session?
So when the patient becomes unconscious from choking, because they were choking, obstruction became unconscious. Sorry. When you're giving ventilations, most people would be worried that when they give breath, you're going to push in that object. That's your worry, right? Don't worry. Push it. Push it in. Let it go in. You have 2 lungs, okay? Once you push it in, it is likely to go to the right lung, which has whose bronchus, the air passage is wider. So it's likely to go and lodge on the right lung, leaving you with the left lung. That patient will be able to breathe. We will be able to preserve that life. We'll be able to prevent that condition from worsening. Your scope as a first aider is very limited. So once you've opened the airway, you take them to the doctor who spent 8 years in school. They will resolve that. Don't worry about that. That's beyond you. You've opened the airway, take them to the hospital.
Hello once again. I'd like to thank everyone who attended the first aid training. Just to give you more information on the first aid training, we usually offer these trainings at our training centers. We usually have a 1-day course for participants, which is just 2,000. And if you want to train as a full first aider, we have a 3-day course training, which is only 4,000. So I've given out some leaflets around. They have our numbers. So in case you feel like you need to learn more on first aid, kindly contact us or reach out to us. We'll be able to book you for a full first aid training, which will cover more. 3 days of training, you learn a lot. Thank you so much, and let me hand over now. And I've enjoyed this session and also the service. So just to say thank you from the Avenue Group.
Praise God. Praise God. I want to thank you for patience, for at least for enabling yourself to sit for that 30 minutes. Najua tumekula a little time, but we thank you for your patience. I want to thank the Avenue for the good work they have done. I know someone has learned 1 or 2 something that you will have to practice at home. And thank you even for our church, for the pastoral team to enable us to have this training. And also our heads department, that is Pastor Godfrey and the wife, thank you so much. And from the health and wellness department, we say thank you, and let us practice this at home in case of anything, and God shall be glorified. Thank you so much. Pastor Godfrey? Oh, we shall have our lunch here. Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate Maureen, thank you so much. Avenue team, thank you very much. Please, we want you in the boardroom. Extend some lunch there with you before you leave. Can we rise up on our feet for our word of prayer? So God bless you so much for coming, and I believe you have learned something. And now may the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ and the love of God and the fellowship of the Holy Spirit be with us now and forevermore. Amen. Thank you, guys. God bless you. Thank you very much. So wellness committee, please, and our Avenue guest get into the boardroom. So Maureen, please lead the team inside. Tuingie ndani.